On tonight's Gwinnett Prep Rally, it's official. Fall football is here and the games get bigger every week. The 2011 season is getting away from South Gwinnett as Parkview plays shutdown football. Up in Region 7, the scoreboard was in constant motion as Mill Creek makes a furious late run with Norcross, but could they hold on? GAC is in a much better place than they've been in recent years. They stay undefeated, and we'll show you why. Lovett has been one of the very few schools that gives Buford trouble in the regular season. So how did the Wolves respond Friday? And we've got county volleyball results and recaps too. Why? Because GPR is everywhere, and it starts right now.
For more than 15 years, your source for Gwinnett County sports is Gwinnett Prep Rally.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to your county's original high school sports television program. This is Gwinnett Prep Rally, now in its 19th season, and we can be seen right here on GCPS TV for the entire 2011-2012 school year. I'm Todd Klein alongside Will Hammock from the Gwinnett Daily Post. And Will, the 2011 Gwinnett County Volleyball Championships took place this past week. There were a lot of good teams out there.
Yeah, it was a great weekend for volleyball. Great week. They played a couple days and just some very high-quality volleyball matches. I think you're seeing Gwinnett kind of emerging as a power in the sport, which is great to see. Some 5A teams are really getting it done. Mill Creek and North Gwinnett are really emerging as strong programs. I think it goes back to GAC here, winning their first county championship. Wesleyan's kind of ruled county volleyball for years, but Dee Dee Bohannon's had a big year, and it's great for Coach Christy Shelton. She's been the long-time volleyball coach over at GAC, so it's great to see her win that county championship. I think she's built a team that's going to be a power at the state level when the tournament comes around.
Well, our special thanks go out to the Gwinnett Daily Post for letting us use those photos. And let's get right now to the football highlights. Will, as South Gwinnett's been putting up PlayStation-like numbers against Central Gwinnett, the South offense looked to continue that scoring surge against visiting Parkview. GPR's Nathan Shutter has more.
South Gwinnett playing host to Parkview in a pivotal Region 8 clash. The Comets would strike first. Trevon Davis gets the rock, and he knows what to do. 17 yards on the touchdown run. South Gwinnett up 7-0. Parkview trying to respond before the half. Jack Esmond hands it off to Jordan Reed on the end around, and Reed breaks free into the secondary for a huge gain for the Panthers. Parkview would capitalize. Esmond rolls to his right and finds Reed open in the end zone for the 5-yard touchdown. The PAT was no good, so South Gwinnett took a 7-6 lead to the locker room. Second half following a Comet turnover, Parkview looking to make them pay. Esmond going for it all, but his pass is going to be picked off by Brandon Bazooey to halt the drive. Later in the quarter, Parkview back on offense. Chris Carson takes the snap, hands it to Rob Youngblood, and he's going to throw it downfield to a wide-open Jack Esmond. Bazooey makes the touchdown-saving tackle for South Gwinnett. But it was only delaying the inevitable. Chris Carson takes it in from 4 yards out to put Parkview up 12-7, and they will go for 2. Esmond with the play action. He pumps and finds Colby Smith in the end zone for the conversion. Panthers up 14-7. Fourth quarter, Parkview with some more trickeration. Esmond slings it out to Jordan Reed in the flat, and he's going to pass, finding a wide-open Keanu Mole for the big gain deep into South territory. Later in the drive, it's Chris Carson one more time, taking it in for the touchdown, and Parkview goes on to defeat South Gwinnett 20-7.
Well, South Gwinnett's offense had a lot of publicity coming into this game, but Parkview's defense really made a statement.
Yeah, they're really playing Parkview football. It's kind of been an overlooked team in the region, Parkview. A lot of people are talking about how good Grayson is and how Decula's doing so well, but right there at top of the region is Parkview. They're playing Parkview football, running the ball well, throwing it when they need to, and like you said, playing excellent defense. This is coached by the same coach, Cecil Flo, that won 4 state championships, so you know they're going to be well coached, and they're going to be a factor in that region title race.
Well, Will, the Mill Creek Hawks suffered their first loss of the season last week in a surprising game against Mountain View. They look to get back to their winning ways this week with John Russ back under center, but they would have to find a way to slow down the Norcross Blue Devils. GPR's Jeff Batten has all the action from Houston.
A lot of scoring in this one. We get it started early in the first. Joseph Wilbur drops back, throws deep down the sideline to Jason Kroom, who has separation and is off to the 10. Touchdown Norcross. Blue Devils up 7-0. Norcross again with the ball. This time Wilbur gives to Alvin Kamara, who bursts up the middle, shedding a couple of tackles. Off to the races, one man to beat, and he is in for the touchdown. Norcross now up 14-0 halfway through the first. Blue Devils back with the ball again. Again, the give is to Kamara, who finds a hole up the middle, breaks a tackle, and is gone to the 30. 21 man to beat. 67 yards later, touchdown Norcross. Now 20-0 Norcross. Mill Creek would answer. 11 seconds left in the first quarter. John Russ in the shotgun looks to his left and finds Matt Purcell, who makes a couple of Blue Devils miss. Fights his way in. Hawks are on the board. It's now 20-7. Norcross would get back to the scoring late in the second quarter. Wilbur with the give, this time to Jay McNair, who finds a hole. Burst of speed is going to have a big gain. McNair cuts back across the field, breaks a tackle to the 10. Touchdown Norcross. They extend it 27-7. Mill Creek would answer right back on their next drive. Russ drops back and finds Deontay Holman, who comes back for the ball, makes a great catch before being dragged out of bounds at the 1, and that would set up this 1-yard keeper for John Russ, cutting into the Blue Devils' lead 27-13 at the half. We pick the action back up in the third quarter. Mill Creek threatening again. Russ with the give to Ja'Cory Lewis, who runs straight ahead for the touchdown, and now Mill Creek down by 7, 27-20. Late third quarter action now. Mill Creek inside the Norcross 5. Russ drops back and finds James Holder for the touchdown. Mill Creek with 21 unanswered points, and they tie it up at 27. Both teams trade scores early in the fourth. Norcross will get the ball back after a Mill Creek turnover and make the most of the opportunity. Wilbur with a toss to Kamara, who gets around the edge, breaks a couple of tackles, and is going to add to his night with his third touchdown. And the Blue Devils hold on in a wild one, 41-34.
Well, it looked like Norcross was going to run away with this one. We'll give Mill Creek credit for a nice comeback, but it wasn't enough against a very talented Norcross squad.
Yeah, that was a huge score before halftime for Mill Creek to make this one a close one. Really fought their way back into the game and had a chance to win it there at the end. But what it came down to, they could not slow down the Norcross running game, particularly Alvin Kamara, 226 rushing yards. You saw his 3 big TDs there. He's a guy that has a lot of speed, a lot of game-breaking type ability, and he's a guy that they're going to ride on the rest of the season. I think he's an impressive player, a Division I running back.
More highlights now. The Buford Wolves have won all their games this season by an average of 42 points per game. So could the visiting Lions of Lovett do anything to buck that trend? Nathan Shutter has the call.
Top-ranked Buford taking on number 6 Lovett. First quarter, Sam Clay hands it off to Darian Smith, who breaks to the outside and sees nothing but daylight as he takes it in for the 27-yard touchdown. Buford up 7-0. Third quarter now, and this time they go to Andre Johnson on the toss sweep, and he looks to just pick up about 10, but wait, it's Johnson staying on his feet, breaking tackles, charging all the way down to the 30-yard line. The Wolves keep it on the ground, sticking with Johnson, who powers his way to the 11-yard line. Next play, it's Andre Johnson again, making the linebackers miss, and runs through the secondary, falling into the end zone, and Buford leads 14-0. Still third quarter, and it's Johnson again. He will take it across midfield all the way for the score. He will finish with 178 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Buford Wolves are too much for the Lions, winning 35-7.
Well, Will, I think people think maybe Lovett's the team that can give Buford a run for its money. I don't know if that team even exists this year.
I don't think it does. I mean, you got to credit Lovett's players. They did about all they could in this one and fought tooth and nail, made it as close as they could. I don't know if they could have gotten any closer against Buford. Buford's just a very powerful team. Andre Johnson had a great game running the ball, just really powered over Lovett, wore them down. By the end, they were just so beat up. The Wolves were able to open it up and win by a comfortable margin.
All right, when we come back, we'll have more football highlights as the GAC Spartans faced off against Blessed Trinity, and we'll also recap other action from around the county. Plus, we get in the mind of our very own Will Hammock and unveil this week's building blocks. You're watching Gwinnett Prep Rally on GCPS TV. For 19 years, the county's high school sports television program.
For 2 decades, Coulter Sports has been making dreams possible for thousands of Gwinnett County student athletes.
Sometimes we've been over the top.
Trail is gone.
Steve Coulter sings,
And the leader of the clan will take no prisoners on this day.
Sometimes we've been straight to the point.
Beverly Coulter is the most persuasive sporting goods salesman in Gwinnett County history, and that's including your son, Steve.
But most of all, we've cared deeply about every Gwinnett parent and student who walked through this front door.
Over all these years,
we thank you for your support.